open to any suggestions you have.
Okay. When's the last time you washed your hair?
I think Friday.
Friday. What's today?
Today is Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Right.
Oh, okay. So it's been like, you wash it normally once a week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you put anything in your ends at all?
No.
Okay. Like after you shower, you normally just let it air dry and then that's it?
Yeah, I usually put like this oil to kind of like not have for like frizzy hair, but I didn't.
This time? Okay. So normally it doesn't feel like this dry.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we doing a haircut too?
Yeah.
How much did you want to cut?
I wanted to do like maybe just a little past my shoulder.
Like to here?
Do you think that's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've done that once a long time ago, but...
Yeah, I would definitely keep it longer than your shoulder, only because it looks like you have sort of a wave.
Yeah.
Because this is your natural texture, you didn't braid it or anything?
It's braided, yeah.
Oh, it is
was
braided?
yeah.
Okay, but is it normally poofy?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just because I have a lot of hair and it's frizzy.
Yeah, so because of that, I would definitely keep it below your shoulder, otherwise you're going to feel like...
Yeah. Yeah, I've had that before.
Yeah.
But then I mainly want it to like blend with my grays. I'm just... Yeah, whatever you think is good. It's kind of like more on this side versus that side.
Yeah, I see that right now. It's like just like this little patch that's like a little bit wider than the water rest.
Yeah.
And then the back, it's like really, there's like not as much.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like the further you go back down to like the nape of your neck here, it's like not as many white hairs. It's like mostly on the top and then like right here.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's concentrated. And then remind me again of your color history.
So I think in July I did go to a different salon to like redo my hair. I think she gave me baby lights.
Last year?
Yeah,
Okay.
July. And then before that, I think 2 or 3 months before that, I was doing box dye to cover my gray.
And how did your hair feel after the baby lights in July? It was fine?
Yeah.
Did she say anything like how your hair lifted or?
No, I think she said the same thing, that it's because of the color, the box dye, that
It
it's
wasn't
gonna...
able to get us.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's harder.
Yeah.
That I would need like several sessions.
Yeah. Did you ever tone that color darker after that?
No.
So this is just
Why?
it completely faded?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was it darker than this when she first did it then?
It was. I think so.
And it lightened up and then just kind of stayed this color?
Yeah, because when I got at Salon, she's like, oh, it looked pretty much like the same.
It looked
yeah. And she's like, oh, but in the light, you'll see like
and then
the
like as
highlights.
it fades, you'll probably see it.
Yeah,
I could see that because it's still pretty. It's like super subtle still. So that's why I'm like, oh, we probably left pretty dark because it's not even. It's actually a pretty color. It's not like really reddish or anything like that.
Yeah, I was afraid of it being reddish, and she's like, oh, we won't go that way.
So yeah, I'll definitely try to get you as light as possible, but we're gonna steer away from doing any type of like permanent color like you've been doing. When she did your highlights back in July, or since then, you've done root color.
No, I haven't done anything since July.
This is it grown out from July?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when she did your highlights, did she do a root color?
She, I told her that I the same thing, I wanted to kind of blend out, so with like low maintenance. So I think it was there but less obvious. So I think she did kind of color covered it.
Yeah, I feel like she covered it a little bit. Would you want me to do that in between the highlights, or you want to just kind of like leave it? You have a few options. If we do cover it, I can do like a demi in between, so it's when I lift you next time, it won't be as stubborn. But I wouldn't want to do permanent color in between the highlights, because if we do that, then that's when it gets like stubborn.
Okay.
To getting like as light as those photos.
Okay.
So we could do that, or we could just leave it, but you'll still see the gray in between the highlights. But in my opinion, when we leave it, it grows out softer because it already has something to like blend into with the color.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Would the gray be really obvious though?
Where do you part your hair?
In the middle.
In the middle, like right here.
Mm-hmm.
So you always part here.
I usually do.
Do you ever part here?
But I can part any way you think would be best.
So the only reason why I ask is because if you part here, like you can see, there's not a ton of gray. Okay. So that's enough for me to blend with the highlights if we don't do the demi or color in between. Mm-hmm. But if you start parting here where there's like that more silvery patch, it's not like white, so it's really your preference. You could either love it or hate it as far as blending, because if you feel like you see too much white, then that's like your preference, you know what I mean? In my opinion, from what I've done in the past, even if it's like that much and we just do highlights, it seems to be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're open to just doing the highlights instead of doing like the color in between, I would say let's do that first, and then next time if you're like, Lauryn, no, I really want, like, this part really bothers me, we can cover it then. Okay. Yeah. But the less we do as far as like adding in more color to cover it, it like blends better the less color we put in. Yeah. So it gives a softer grout because it already has that in between to like match as your natural grows out. Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we have a brand new client who found me to do some gray blending on her hair. You can see she's got really pretty gray roots, and then she has some permanent color mixed in with some old highlights. Her ends did feel a little bit on the drier side, and that's why I asked her whether she had washed her hair soon or put anything in it, because sometimes when the hair is too dry, I actually will turn away the client, because if I lighten it, then it technically will get a little bit drier and has potential to breakage. So if the hair ever feels too dry and it's like freshly washed or anything like that, I actually avoid lightening and we might just do a treatment. But since it had been a few days since she washed her hair and she said she didn't put anything in it, that was actually kind of normal for her ends to feel a little bit on the drier side, because typically on day 2 or 3 of not washing your hair, and if you have old highlights, your ends can feel dry. So I always like to just go over and ask that to just make sure that the hair feels that way, because it's like unwashed without product versus it being actually damaged. And those are just like some really important things to just go over before lightening. So now I'm going to go in and just briefly go over my placement with her hair. This client had a lot of hair, and we want something that's going to grow out really low maintenance on her. I believe this client flew in from like the Bay Area, and the flight's really not too long, but it was a little bit of a trip for her to come out to see me. So thank you for coming in. I'm always grateful when clients travel to come see me. And with that being said, I wanted to really create something that is going to last her as long as possible, because I understand that she doesn't just live nearby. It's not super easy and convenient for her to come see me. So the whole point of when I'm doing my placement, toning, lifting, literally everything for any type of client when we do gray blending, especially if they're from out of town, is to really create something that's going to be super low maintenance, but at the same time that is going to make it really last long for them too. A lot of times, sometimes I'll do my placement and I don't want to do something too light or too heavy, because adding in more highlights, if the client has more pepper like this one, can actually create more maintenance. So I did a few foils around the nape. I did diagonal backs. I did 2 of those back to back. And then now I'm going in with my center section up her head. And I just find, even with clients who have a ton of hair, this saves me a lot of time to take the back section all in one go and then connect the sides all in one section too. It just makes my life a lot easier, saves me time. And then when I go in to retouch it, it's a lot easier to retouch. So right now I'm using the Danger Jones lightener, and I absolutely love this lightener because it gives me really good lift. So even though she has that permanent color that we're going to have some difficulty with lifting normally, I have full confidence that this is the best lightener for any type of color correction or hair that is super stubborn like this, that it's going to give me the best lift and just maintain the integrity of the hair because it has bonder in it, and it just honestly, out of all lighteners that I've ever used, has the cleanest lift without swelling in the foil. And that is huge, guys, when you're doing corrections like these, because I don't have to worry about that, and it just kind of gives me peace of mind. So as I am just detailing her bang here, I did kind of like a baby light, and then just continued my slicing pattern, spacing these foils a little bit closer together because these are the bangs, and as I get closer towards the back of the mohawk, I slowly start to space these foils a little bit further apart. So right now I'm just kind of separating the hair in between her foils because she does have permanent color in her hair, and I just want to make sure that my sections are extremely clean, and if I need to relighten any areas, that definitely helps me when I separate the hair ahead of time. So now I'm going in, finishing up her side money piece. I did a weave because we want some extra added softness, and we don't want any harsh lines. So everything around her hairline we are weaving, but everything in the interior after we get through around the hairline will be slices, so that it gives the most amount of impact with each foil that we do. So since the side section is a little bit wider than usual because she has a lot of hair, which isn't a bad thing, it is a good thing, I feel like, when clients do have a lot of hair, because they don't ever have to worry about balding or anything like that. But she does have a ton of hair, so whenever a client has a lot of hair in the side section, to connect the rest of the mohawk to the front is just a little bit too wide for a standard foil to fit, then that's when, after I do those money piece foils around the hairline on the side there, I'll do a few more diagonal back slices behind it until the section that connects the front and the back is the proper size that would fit in the foil. So now that that side section can fit in the foil, I'm going in and just doing the sides up the head. I did a weave above the ear, and then just continuing slicing all the way up until I meet the top of that mohawk pretty much. And after I foil her whole head too, I am going to again separate the hair, just kind of isolate it, because we are working with like different color histories in her hair. So I'm really expecting some areas to lift a lot warmer than other areas because she does have some color history of using like box dye. And then after I do the root foils, I am doing some tip outs to kind of create a nicer blend. I feel like doing tip outs on any type of foil work really helps elevate the look and just helps personalize it to make it look like it blends a lot better and makes the ends just pop more. And I don't know, I just feel like it makes the look so much better and so much more cohesive, and as it starts to grow out, it just looks extremely seamless when you add in just like a few tip outs, even if it's like just around the face frame or anything like that. I have been utilizing it on almost all my clients unless they don't like the look to where the ends are a little bit lighter, which is kind of rare, but for the most part, most of my clients do get at least a couple tip outs, even if it's just around the face frame, to just make everything look more tied together and more intentional. And for my tip outs, I'm just using 20 volume. I don't really find the need to bump it up any higher than 20 volume because I take sections that are extremely thin and see-through, so they get a really good lift and kind of like just even out with the rest of the foils. So once my client's hair lifted to like about a level 9 in her root section, I decided to start rinsing out her foils because I really didn't want the root area to get to a level 10, because then I would have to add warmth into her formula to kind of help balance it. You can see there her mids and ends, they look still extremely warm from probably the box color that she did. And so for her toner formulation, I'm going to be using the Danger Jones gloss toners. And today we're not going to be using any of the artistic toners because her hair is not light enough, but I love using the Danger Jones gloss toners because they're more on the ashier side. They have a more opaque coverage, meaning they are a lot more pigmented, and I love that they process in 10 minutes. So for her root formula, we are going to be going in rooting her with the 5-1, which is a level 5 ash. And then I did her mids and ends with 7-1. I would say her ends lifted to like about a level 7 or 7-8. So some parts you will still see like a bit of neutral warmth to it. And then some pieces that lifted a little bit lighter will pick up a little bit more on the ashier side. But I figured that this would get her by until some of that box color fully grows out. And then eventually we could totally do something a little bit more on the grayer side. But at least in the meantime, this will start to blend a lot softer and not have a harsh line of demarcation when this grows out.
How does the color feel so far?
Oh, that's great.
Looks good?
Yeah. It's great. I really like the color. Yeah.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look after we did her gray blending placement. It is more on the subtle side. You can see that she does have a lot of dimension. We did not do a demi base in between her highlights, so this is just her gray in between the highlights with some tip outs, and the toner did a really good job at toning out a lot of the warmth. So because she didn't lift as light as we would have liked her to, as this fades out, it will fade out into a lighter brown. It will get a little bit warmer, but at least she won't have a really harsh line of demarcation. It will fade out to kind of like more of a lighter, warm, medium brown. But her roots do look a lot more blended, and so do her bangs. Like everything doesn't look super one color and too flat, and it definitely does look a lot ashier than what she came in with. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.